Well, I don't know what kind of weather you're having in your neck of the woods, but here in central North Carolina, we are heating up and plants are growing, the grass is growing, even the weeds. And here in Acorn Hill, I never run out of projects and planting and garden chores to do. But before that, hi, this is Louie. Welcome back to Acorn Hill. I appreciate you spending your time with me and learning a little on what I share and what I put on my vlogs. Also want to thank the viewers that we have that have now joined the Acorn Hill Circle. Those in Germany, in Malaysia, in France. Yes, now I'm getting some viewers from France, and that's exciting. It's good stuff. And also people from the UK and Australia, and especially my kababayans from the Philippines. Mabuhay po tayo. Welcome po sa Acorn Hill. Thank you for being a part of our channel and our circle. And as we are growing, I hope you don't mind, share it with your friends, tell your family about our channel, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe button. Tell them about what we're offering, and hopefully we can create a better community and a good channel here on this platform. Today I wanted to show you two projects that pertain to pots, are one of my go-to vessels, not only for indoor planting projects, but more and especially outside. I have introduced a planting project in the past. Now I will link a video on the description box and up on the top here on the card. But it's regarding bottomless pots, and these bottomless pots are lifesavers. I am outsmarting clay, the clay soil that we have here in central North Carolina that prevents me from growing beloved perennials and perennials that I've wanted to grow for years. And so outsmarting it means I'm on a mission by putting pots with huge holes on the bottom. Bottomless, yes. I take out the bottoms of these pots. And also I want to show you what I do in case I find a nice clay pot, terracotta pot, but they have no holes. What do I use? What implement do I use in order for me to get holes and use those pots? Even just regular old antique bowls or tag sale bowls that you find that you wanted to use for your planting vessels. And I have a good idea and a good implement that I wanted to recommend to you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I love producing all these videos for you guys, and hopefully we can learn something new today here on Acorn Hill.
Right, so as I mentioned earlier, bottomless pot is the easiest way for me to outsmart any garden area or any planting area in our property that has claggy, heavy, moisture retentive soil. So what I did here was I got me very affordable plastic containers. Any plastic container will do. And what I did was painted it with a signature gray that we like all our pots, be it terracotta or plastic, to be uniformly painted with. As I also mentioned in the beginning of this video, I had a previous video on this planting project and planting style that I will link to the top of the screen and on the description box below. After creating a big hole on the bottom of this pot, what I will do now is select an area along the woody perennial border of our elevated garden. And once that area is selected, I will be flattening out a specific area and dig in as much topsoil, garden soil, soil conditioner, and compost with grit just to loosen the soil. This will be the base where all the roots, the tap roots from the plant will start exiting into, and that would firmly secure the plant from the pot into the ground, into the native soil. Now this part of the woody perennial border receives sun about 6 to 8 hours a day. There is that big oak on the opposite side of our fence. This doesn't impede as much of the sun requirements as any plant would need. So for this site, I am choosing 2 heirloom roses. I'm planning on sticking them in. These are bare root roses that instead of having planted in clay, which for sure will cause root rot, now we're essentially putting the roses on an elevated planting spot. Alright, so after eyeballing the position of the pot, what I do now is I use a spirit level so we can see how well situated and level the pot is from the back to the front and side to side. And now that I've set the pot to level, what I do next is not plant the rose yet because we need to prepare the irrigation system that will water the rose so that we don't have to spend time hand watering all these plants throughout the season. What I have here is my drip irrigation box, our different emitters, different couplers. I have a cutter for the black tubing and the brown tubing. And I wanted to show you what I do, the process that I do in setting up the drip irrigation on any potted plant and also for any plant located in any garden bed along our property. This is a truly helpful system that I recommend you guys consider if you have any large and expansive garden beds or any potted plants that you don't want to water every single time. Alright, so how do we do this? First, you select the type of emitter that you want to water the plant. In my kit, you can see that I have the red, blue, and black emitters. Those colored emitters correspond to the amount of water that we need to water the plant. Red is for 2 gallons, blue is for a half gallon, and the black emitter is for 1 gallon of water per hour. For this planting application, what we are choosing is the black emitter to water the new bare root rose for 1 gallon per hour. It's a new plant and we want to make sure that it's moist enough and correctly watered enough so that the roots will grow. In the clip, I attached the black 1 gallon emitter to a black 1/4 inch poly tubing, to which I attached it to a straight coupler, and this straight coupler is a pointed, sharp ending that will now go into the live water that I have flowing through a black 1/2 inch poly tubing scattered all around and spread all throughout the entire property. After attaching the black tubing to the live water already available, the other end is attached to a brown tubing. This brown poly tubing has holes that are dispersed every 6 inches along its length. I cut the brown tubing to its designated length that will go around the base of the rose. And after doing so, the end of this brown tubing is plugged up with a solid coupler. And to make sure there are no unsightly pipes or tubes hanging around over the edge of the pot, what I do here is I thread the poly tubing underneath and through the big hole of this pot. I give it enough slack so that I have more than enough black tubing that will be right along the side of the pot wall. And then the brown tubing will then go right on top of the soil once the rose is backfilled with soil and dirt. This will form a halo around the base of the rose that will now water using the holes dispersed throughout the black poly tubing. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, remember that I told you earlier, this spot is directly under an oak tree. The oak tree over the fall has given off and dropped a lot of these acorns that I'm also using as a soil conditioner. I'm putting it on the base and the bottom of this pot, on top of which I will put gritty compost. That way we get good drainage and good water flow when the rose is planted inside the pot. I find this to be the easiest and most convenient way for me because whenever I have to plant anything, either on an elevated garden planting spot or a regular plant into the landscape, all I had to do is step into this network of live water that's flowing freely into those black tubing spread all around. And it's that simple. After planting the bare root rose right on top and into the soil, now I'm putting in compost on top, and this will be the natural food that the rose will feed on once it tries to establish during the mid to late spring and into the summer and growing season. As a general rule, I always water any plants that I've just put into the ground. And in about a month, when I see some buds that will form the first lateral and primary cane from this plant stock, then I can also put some well-balanced all-purpose fertilizer like a 555. Okie dokie guys, that's a very easy planting project that we started our video with, but now I wanted to insert a recommendation. This is something that my friend Renee asked me in the past on what would be the best tool to bore holes and create holes in solid pots. Solid pots usually are those pots that we get from the store from orchids. You know, these cash pots usually have a solid base, and most of them are also good for planting projects. And a friend of mine, Renee from Arkansas, asked me about, hey, what can we do with this? So I have been researching about the better implement that we could use in order for us to utilize all these unused pots that are just laying around in our garages. The drill bit that I found to be very effective and leaves a clean hole is what's called a step drill bit. A step drill bit is a drill bit that allows you to drill multiple sized holes with one bit. It gradually increases as you go down the bit. It's like the shape of a cone. It allows you to do multiple size holes without the need for changing bits. It is used to enlarge a hole if you have an existing smaller hole. Now in this case, what I did was bought a metal step drill bit that could go on any type of pot, be it ceramic, porcelain, Limoges, terracotta, and concrete. This is the third piece that I have tried in the course of 3 months. I have tried the mason bits. I've even tried bits that work for metal, but it really doesn't leave a very clean hole. The one tip that I have for using this bit is you do not press so hard into your drill that it could crack your pot. Allow the drill to slowly guide you and slowly let you know how much size it can make of a hole for you. This type of bit is available on big box stores and also from online on Amazon. I hope you enjoyed this video today. It's a combination of planting project and some product recommendations that I also find really useful, not only for me but also for friends who are asking me for opinions on some products. It's a busy season here in Acorn Hill, and we've got lots more videos coming up. If you happen to stumble on our video and you happen to like the content that we have, don't hesitate to like our videos, subscribe, and share it with your friends for more ideas coming up. So until next time, friends, this is Louie, and we'll see you back here in Acorn Hill. Bye-bye for now.